UFC Fight Night, Sandhagen and Yadong is right around the corner. And before we cut to the intro, I got to represent Philly because it is Philly weekend takeover in the UFC. Stay tuned to find out what that's all about. And welcome back to another episode of Fist First. I'm your host, Steve, along with your co-host, Slav.
What's up, everybody?
And like I said, we got Philly weekend takeover here at the UFC, Sandhagen Yadong. We will get to that when we break down all the fights. But first, just a few mentions of news here around the UFC community. A famous TikTok star, I believe he is a TikTok star, Hasbullah Magomedov, a friend of Khabib, just signed a UFC contract, 5 years. He is not fighting, though, unfortunately, as fun as that would be. He is going to be in the UFC media department. And if you don't know him by name, this is a guy you have definitely seen before. I'm going to pull up a pic for you right here. I am almost positive he has been all over TikTok, all over social media. Contrary to how he looks, he is a 19-year-old. He is not a child, 19-year-old. And he's officially in the UFC, so that is that's a good
I want to see him and McGregor, man.
Dude, how awesome would that be to watch him fight? When I saw he signed a contract, I was like, wait a minute, no way.
Yeah, definitely surprised me, but you have to read the whole thing, and then you find out, it's just for media.
It's awesome for him now to finally get to that stage.
Yeah, it'll definitely bring some attention to the UFC since he's got a lot of followers.
He's going to bring all that TikTok fame. Another piece of news here. We talked about last week. Daniel Rodriguez won via decision versus Li Jingliang. Daniel Rodriguez is a little ticked off at the UFC community for calling him out, saying Lee took that fight. So D-Rod calls for a rematch to settle it once and for all against Li Jingliang. I don't know if that's a fight that's going to happen, but it's definitely interesting.
Yeah, I give him respect for wanting to fight Lee again, but yeah, I'm kind of mad that he's ranked now. I don't think he deserves it. I think there's many other people.
So D-Rod cracked into the top 15. He is now ranked number 14 in the welterweight division. And last but not least, we mentioned this too, Nate Diaz potentially moving into the boxing community. And Jake Paul does send him a warning saying, I quote, "I'll smack the stock down of him." Is that a fight we'll see? Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz? Probably, right? In the boxing world, probably see that. But we'll see how Jake Paul's fight against Anderson Silva goes first.
Might not be a bad fight, to be honest.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Like if that happens, because I'm just curious to see how Nate's going to be in boxing. But Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship has reached out to him and does really want him. So who knows what his next move is? I do think it's boxing.
Yeah, same.
So to get into a little bit of the card breakdown here, I don't want to spend too much time on the preliminaries. This is a UFC fight night, so we are UFC fans, but most of the action is going to be in the main card, and it's not going to be as exciting as a pay-per-view, but it's going to be exciting nonetheless. So to start us off here, we have a bout in the lightweight division. Got Nicholas Moda taking on Cameron Van Camp. And I think we are going to get the action started right away with this fight. You have Van Camp coming in, who is a very, very action-oriented fighter. He loves to bring the offense. He averages nearly 7 significant strikes per minute. If you don't know, that's a high number per minute. And then opposite of him, you have Nicholas Moda, who's a very counter-heavy opponent. So he's going to look to counter Van Camp's offense and potentially put him to sleep and use Van Camp's aggression to his favor. I I don't know, Slav. Who you got thinking this one? You think Van Camp's offense overpowers Moda, or do you think Moda can sneak a shot in and Van Camp be a little too over aggressive?
Yeah, I think it's a good matchup, but I think Van Camp will be able to overwhelm him with his aggressiveness. Um, yeah, I got Van Camp in this one. He's
And
also
Van
got
Camp,
four-inch reach
yep.
advantage. We'll see though because he's moving down a weight class, so that could affect him. But I don't see this stopping Van Camp from winning.
Yeah, and Van Camp is the underdog here, but I do agree with you. I think Van Camp's offense overwhelms Moda. Let's lock it in. Van Camp taking this one over Moda. The
Another
second fight,
upset.
yep. First, we love the upsets here at Fist First. You watch our previous shows, we love the upsets. Got the second fight here taking place in the bantamweight division. You got Tony Gravely versus Javid Basharat. Um, Tony Gravely, man, he's very, very, very well-rounded fighter. He loves his takedowns. He almost averages about 7 takedowns per fight. Taking on Basharat, who is mainly a stand-up fighter. So, do you think Gravely can use his takedown savvy to take this to the ground, maybe win this one by decision?
Oh yeah, I definitely think he's gonna attack Basharat's weakness, which is wrestling on the ground, and he's gonna use that to win. So yeah, I don't think Basharat's got a chance. I think the fight's gonna go to the ground, and Gravely's gonna win this. He's on a 2-fight win streak. He's a well-rounded fighter. I think he's got this.
Yeah, and he has a little bit more experience in the UFC, sitting at 6 fights in the UFC. Basharat only has one. Takedown savvy experience. I think I agree with you. And guess what, Slav? I believe that's another upset. I
Oh
believe
wow.
Basharat is favored in that one. We will see when we go over to DraftKings later in the show.
Yeah, I mean Basharat's a good fighter. He's 12-0 professionally. So we'll see. It's an interesting fight, but yeah.
Yeah, I think once you get into the UFC, the takedown savvy kind of you saw it in the Hamzat fight.
Yeah,
It
and
it
definitely
plays a big role.
the level of competition changes a lot when you get into the
Skyrockets.
UFC. Yeah, so
Absolutely.
might be a little harder for him to remain undefeated.
And moving on along here, we got our first female fight of this card. It's going to be taken in the women's flyweight division. You got Maria Agapova taking on Jillian Robertson. And before I give a prediction here, Maria Agapova is one victim to one of the biggest upsets in UFC history back in 2020. She was a minus 1,400 favorite, and she did lose that fight. Maybe that is why Slav and I love the underdogs because that's where the money's at, and it is possible. Going into a fight as a negative 1,400 favorite, that's significant, especially if you're a betting man. That's significant odds. And she lost. And she is taking on Jillian Robertson, who I believe Robertson is the favorite here. So Agapova is going in as the underdog. And Jillian Robertson has a very notable win in the UFC. Has a win over Molly Meatball McCann, who's on the rise right now. Granted, that did take place back in 2018. Um, but yeah, going to this fight, I think I have to take the favorite in this one in Jillian
Yeah,
Robertson.
I agree with you there. I not all upsets are gonna win, so I'm going with the favorite too. She has a little more experience. She's a good wrestler. I think she can get the submission on Agapova, and yeah, I think it'll be an early submission.
Yeah, and it's another case of wrestler versus stand up. Robertson being the wrestler and Agapova being the stand up. And once again, I think we're taking the wrestler there in
Yeah,
Jillian Robertson.
but we'll see. You never know. Maybe she'll upset again, but chances of that happening,
You never know.
yeah,
But I do think Robertson takes that fight. Speaking about favorites, the next fight I think is probably my second favorite fighter odds wise on the card. That's going to be in Daniel Zellhuber taking on Trey Ogden. For those of you who did not see Trey Ogden's last fight, he got absolutely annihilated by Jordan Levitt. He got hit with 52 leg kicks, That is an absurd number. Trey
Wow,
Ogden,
was that a 3 round fight too?
that was a 3-round fight,
Wow.
yes. Got hit with 52 leg kicks out of 59 thrown. So that, that landing percentage is very high. So to say the least here, Trey Ogden's defense is not there. This is why I'm going to give this fight to Daniel Zellhuber, who is 12-0 professionally. Is going to come in with a 5.5 reach advantage. He's going to be able to keep Ogden at bay. He's going to outclass Ogden on his feet. Um, maybe he'll throw some more leg kicks so Ogden's legs can get a little bit more sore after that last fight. But yeah, Zellhuber in his UFC debut here is going to take the win over Trey Ogden.
Yeah, I agree with this. I think Ogden, he doesn't have the power, and he just doesn't have the stand up to match with Zellhuber. So I think Zellhuber's got this. I think it's going to be a knockout.
Yeah, and I think he's sitting at the second best favorite in this card, and I think that's one that's pretty much a lock for all you bettors out there. All right, next up we have our second female fight here. It's going to be taking place in the women's strawweight division. You got Luma Lukbunmi versus Denise Gomez. Sorry. Gomez is another UFC debuter here on the card, and this is a name that you might have heard recently. She is a contract winner on the Dana White Contender Series this year, and she actually won her contract 3 weeks ago. She's taken this fight on 2 weeks' notice. First fight in the UFC. Shout out to her for that courageous move, to say the least. And she's fighting a girl that's going to give her fits. She's going to give her fits in Luma Lukbunmi, who's probably going to look to take this fight to the ground. This is yet another case of a wrestler versus a striker. Lukbunmi being the wrestler. I think she's going to have her way with Gomez in Gomez's UFC debut. And I believe Lukbunmi is the favorite here. And that's another favorite that we are probably going to lock in there.
Yeah, I think Gomez might be a little aggressive. She just got the contract from the Contender Series. It's her UFC debut. She's got a lot of raw power, so I think she'll be aggressive. Could potentially see a knockout. We'll see. But Luke Me is the better fighter here. So I'm gonna expect her to win, but I wouldn't be surprised if Gomez could potentially get an early knockout.
Yeah, and I think you nailed it right on the head. I think in order for Gomez to win this fight, she needs to go out aggressive because the longer this fight goes on, the more it favors Lukbunmi. Um, and I don't think in her UFC debut, Gomez is going to be able to do that. Another female fight next up, taking place in the women's bantamweight division. We have a little bit of a UFC vet here in Sarah McMahon, sitting at 41 years old, but she's still winning because she is coming off a decision win back in March. And for those of you who don't know McMahon, she was a title challenger back in her day, and she did fight Ronda Rousey. But yeah, she's going to be taking on Aspen Ladd here, who's a little bit younger, sitting at 27. Aspen Ladd has been struggling a little bit with injuries recently. This fight was supposed to happen last month, I believe. This fight was supposed to happen. Ladd pulled out with COVID. She's back. The fight's back. I think Aspen Ladd comes out strong, takes down a UFC vet, and wins this fight. I'd probably say by decision. I kind of like decision here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Aspen Ladd's also desperate for a win. Desperate for a win here because she's lost 3 out of her last 4. Lock it in. I think Aspen Ladd takes this one over Sarah McMahon. Sorry.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think McMahon is like herself. She's pretty old, so she's not going to be the same she was years ago. Yeah, Ladd's desperate, so I think she's going to give a good fight. I don't know if McMahon will be able to properly defend and stop her. So yeah, it'll be a good fight. But yeah, I got Ladd winning this by decision as well.
You start to see the body slow down when you get older.
Yeah,
Sitting at 41 years old, that's tough for a UFC fighter.
and then she's got a lot of years, so a lot of research can be done on McMahon. Can be older fighters can be a
It's
little
a great point.
predictable. Yeah. So yeah,
It's a
lad's a
great
little
point.
younger. She might be a little wild. She might change some stuff up. So we'll see.
Yeah, in the fight after that, you got Trevin Giles taking on Louis Cosce in the welterweight division. And let me tell you guys, get your popcorn ready for this one. This one is probably an underrated fight. This one has the potential to be absolute fireworks. You got guys, two guys here that are willing to throw punches to, and we're willing to take punches. I'm sorry, willing to take punches to throw them. Um, in Giles landing about 3 significant strikes per minute, but also absorbing 2. And then you got Kosuke landing about 8 and absorbing 9 per minute. So these guys are willing to take to give. And you know what that's a recipe for? That is a recipe for a bloody fun fight.
My
So mark this
favorite.
one on your card here.
Yeah, I think I'm actually most excited for this fight. I think it's going to be a good show. I think definitely a knockout, first or second round.
I hope so, man.
Yeah.
Um, I think with a lot of my hype built into this, if this doesn't end in KO, it's going to be a little bit of a disappointment for me.
Yeah, same. But yeah, I think Coach, is that how you say it? I'm not sure. Luis Coach is gonna take this, gonna win.
Yeah. Um, Next fight here, one of two Philly boys representing Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Got Pat Sabatini taking on Damon Jackson. This is going to be in the featherweight division. Sabatini is a Philly boy, and he is another up and comer out of Philadelphia in the featherweight division, sitting at 4-0, undefeated in the UFC. And taking on Damon Jackson, both these guys are submission artists, if you will. This is going to be an interesting, probably ground heavy fight.
Yeah,
Um, and what's exciting about this fight, man, is uh, I think whoever wins this fight is going to get a shot at a ranked opponent. And if Pat Sabatini, the Philly boy, can pull it off, we're going to have a lot to cheer for moving forward because you're going to start to see him climb and potentially have a Philadelphia as the champion, or a Philadelphian, I'm sorry, as a champion of the featherweight division. Very exciting stuff for us boys here
yeah.
in
I
Philly.
would love to see that. Have Philly dominate all weight classes. At least have one ranked fighter in there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it would be fun. It would be fun to see that. But yeah, it's definitely gonna be a tough fight for both of these fighters. Jackson's coming off a 3-5 win streak, and Sabatini's 4-0 in the UFC. So all fighters are gonna these fighters are gonna give their best. It's gonna be a tough one.
Yeah,
So
and I'm probably going to be sitting there with this exact jersey on, cheering on the Philly boy. So
yeah, I
shout out
gotta
to
go
Pat
with the Philly
Sabatini.
boy. I gotta go
Yeah,
with the
no
Philly.
way I'm not taking him on
Yeah,
this one. We'll say Sabatini by submission.
yeah. I gotta go with you there too. Submission.
Next fight here is probably my personal biggest favorite. You got Anthony Hernandez taking on Marc Andre Barreau. This is going to be taking place in the middleweight division. Um, I'm I'm not going to spend too much time on this one here. I think Anthony Hernandez is going to completely outclass Barreau here. He's better standing. He's better on the ground.
Hmm.
Anthony Hernandez takes this fight easily.
I think I might actually have to go with you there too. We agree on a lot, Steve.
Yeah, it's weird because there's a lot of close fights in this card. But like we
Yeah.
said earlier, there's a lot of stand-up fighters versus grapplers.
Hmm.
And I think like as much as we love the action here at Fist First, unfortunately grapplers tend to have the advantage.
Yeah,
But
that is true.
I'll tell you where we're not going to see some grappling here in the next fight because this is going to be a heavyweight bout. You got Tanner Boser taking on Rodrigo Nascimento. And Nascimento, I will say, for a heavyweight, he is a grappler, but he's not going to be able to take Boser down. This is going to be a stand-up fight.
Hmm.
For those of you who don't know Tanner Boser, he fought Cyril Gane back in 2019. And like I said on a previous show, Cyril Gane will be your heavyweight champion of the world soon. He lost that fight via unanimous decision back in 2019. And back then he was a very defensive fighter. Tanner Boser's not a defensive fighter anymore. He's going to look to show off his offense in this fight, and he's preparing for the takedown defense. So Tanner Boser's going to keep this on the ground or keep this on the feet. He's going to knock Rodrigo Nascimento out. Mark my words, Tanner Boser by knockout.
Yeah, I think he's got good stand-up defense. I think he's going to be able to stop the ground defense. I mean, he's got ground defense too. So yeah, I think he's the better fighter here. I would be surprised if he doesn't win Bosser. So yeah, I'd hope to see a knockout. I think it's going to be more of a decision, but yeah, I think it's going to be close to knockout.
Yeah, and like I said, that fight, mark my words, that is going to be a knockout. And I'll tell you what else is going to be a knockout, Slav. My fight of the night. Not based on action, but based on my boy, Joe Pyfer, another Philly boy. For those of you who don't know him, let me introduce you to him real quick. Let me pull up this video here. I'll show you why we got the Philly boy love going on and show you a little bit of the Philly power. Watch this knockout here by Joe Pyfer. This was taking place on the Dana White Contender Series this year.
The ground and pound coming from Pyfer.
See ya.
Yeah, that
That's why
great.
they call him body bags.
That kind of reminded me of the Sean O'Malley knockout where he just like walks up to him.
That was it. One punch. Say, dude.
Yeah. It was pretty impressive. Yeah.
Call him Joe Body Bags Pyfer. And he is taking on a guy that I think he is going to absolutely destroy. He's going to be taking on Alan Amadovsky, 0-3 in the UFC. Last two fights lasted for a combined. Alan Amadovsky's last two fights lasted for a combined 78 seconds. One being a 14-second knockout, the second being a 1-and-4-second submission. Joe Body Bags Pyfer.
I think this is the perfect fight for him, man.
Oh, perfect. Welcome to the UFC, dude.
Yeah. And I think this is going to be probably Amadovsky's last fight, maybe, if he gets knocked out. So,
because Joe Pyfer is going to bring the body bag.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to put, mark my words right here again, Joe Pyfer, knockout, round one.
I like that, Steve.
Maybe I got a little bit too much of the Philly spirit, but, man, that is a fighter that people, I'm telling you, UFC fans, watch this guy. You're going to know his name if you don't know it already.
Even if you take the Philly out of it, we're still picking this guy. That's how good it is.
He's a great dude.
Yeah.
He struggled a lot of personal issues he overcame. He got a little sappy when he won the contract, which is awesome to see. Can't wait to welcome him to the UFC on Saturday. Cannot wait to see him. But away from the Philly boys, because that was the last of the Philly pride there. Got a bout taking place in the featherweight division. Andre Philly versus Bill Algeo. Interesting fight here, sitting at the third fight. Got Andre Philly, who's one win in his last 5 fights. Got knocked out in 41 seconds his last fight. Versus a guy in Bill Algeo coming into this fight with a 2-fight win streak, who had a very interesting win. I believe his last time out. He got a win via exhaustion. And if you don't know what that is, to win via exhaustion is when the ref calls your opponent to stand up. They take too long to stand up. It's almost like a countdown in boxing.
Yeah, I think I was actually live at that fight. I don't know what happened, but I think Burns had a knee injury. But yeah, it was definitely a weird thing. He just didn't stand. I don't know what was going on when I saw that. But I can tell you Alego was definitely the better fighter in that fight too. So I think he would have won either way.
He takes this fight.
Yeah, and he might not be from Philly, but I'm pretty sure. I think he trains out of King of Prussia or something like that.
Ah,
So
close enough.
from around here, yeah.
I didn't
So
know that. That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Close
So
enough to Philly.
yeah, I think he's got this too.
Hey, keep it going, right? Keep it
Yeah,
going with the PA. All right, and to our co-main event. Originally, this fight was Sadiq Youssef's fight versus Giga Chikadze. Chikadze pulled out of this fight. The UFC couldn't find an opponent for Sadiq Youssef, so your new co-main event is going to be Chidi and Jokuani versus Gregory Rodriguez. That's taking place in the middleweight division. And let me tell you, you have an up-and-comer here in Chidi and Jokuani that I think you're going to want to keep your eyes on. He has 2 fights in the UFC, sitting at 2-0. Both of his UFC wins earned him performance of the night bonuses. He's got a 73% striking accuracy. And man, exciting guy to watch. I think he takes this one versus Gregory Rodriguez. And this is a fight that does have the potential as well to win fight of the night.
yeah. I think it's gonna be a good one. Both fighters are great stand up. They got good striking. It's gonna be tough. I like Cheaty though. I think he's good. I think he might get this win, but I do like Rodriguez too. So this one was tough for me, but I'm gonna have to go with Rodriguez on this. But yeah, I
Going with
think it's definitely
Rodriguez.
gonna be a knockout. I wouldn't be surprised if Cheaty wins knockout either. This fight can go either way, but I got Rodriguez winning this one.
Yeah, like we said, a lot of close fights here. And I'll tell you what, I don't think there's any fight closer than your main event. Corey Sandhagen taking on Song Yadong. This is taking place in the bantamweight division, and both of these fighters are ranked. Both have numbers next to their name in the bantamweight division. Sandhagen sitting at number 4, Yadong sitting at number 10, looking to climb up the ladder. And for those of you who don't know Corey Sandhagen, I'm going to pull up another video for you guys here because in 2021, he had a knockout of the year candidate, which I personally think should have won knockout of the year. It didn't. I think it should have, though. And he had a flying knee knockout over Frankie Edgar. Let me pull it up for you guys because you want to see what Corey Sandhagen's all about. He's fun to watch, and he is vicious. Watch this one, guys.
Constantly moving. That's the one thing about Frankie Edgar. He doesn't leave his head settled. It's always moving with his legs and his feet. You know, in wrestling, we always say hands and feet move at the same time. Frankie moves everything at the same time. Body's moving, feet's moving.
Oh my goodness! Fight it!
How often do you see that? How often do you see that?
That was great. I've seen it before, and I'm still like, whoa. Dang.
Oh yeah, you could watch that as many times as you want. That doesn't lose any of its value when you watch that.
Yeah.
Oh man, what a knockout! What an exciting fighter.
I hope he does it again, man. I hope. Yeah, I think he's gonna. I think he's gonna be able to stop Yadon. It's gonna be tough for him too. I think Yadon's good as well. They're both ranked, so I think it's gonna be by decision. I don't know if it'd be by knockout, but I would love to see a knockout.
Yeah, this is a tough one for me because I do like Sandhagen's experience over Yadong. It's tough though because Yadong's coming in with a lot of momentum.
Mm-hmm.
Coming off of 3 wins. Sandhagen's coming off of 2 losses. So do you take the momentum or do you take the guy more desperate for a win?
I do feel like momentum usually does win the UFC, so I don't know. It's a tough one, man. But I'm a big Sandhagen fan.
Oh, so am I.
Yeah, so
But do not discredit Yadong because Song
yeah.
Yadong is a very talented fighter at only 24 years old.
Yeah, I think
Only
even if
24
he
years old.
loses this fight, I think Yadon's going to come back in a year or two. He's going to eventually outrank Sandhagen. So I don't think this will be the end if Yadong loses. So, but I think experience is going to win this fight. So,
In Sandhagen.
yeah, I got Sandhagen.
Man, it's tough. I kind of like Sandhagen too, but for the sake of being different, I'm going to go with my friend Momentum, and I'm going to take Yadong here. Even though I like the
Understandable.
experience, let's have a little bit of fun here. So I'll say Yadong. You have Sandhagen. And this one's going to be for you bettors out there. Little new segment here. We talk about DraftKings a lot on our previous shows. We talk about the odds. We talk about who we like. I'm going to bring up the DraftKings website here. And we're going to build our best card for you guys, our best parlay here for you guys. See if we can catch you guys some money here. So just looking at these fights here, I know Slav and I had mentioned that we like Van Camp over Moda. I think that one's a lock,
Mm-hmm.
and he is an
Same.
underdog.
Yeah.
It's if you're betting on these fights in a parlay, it's risky to take that first fight because just like that, your night and your money can be gone. But I have a lot of faith in Van Camp here. I think he takes that one. I like Gravely. I don't think I'm touching that bet though. Let's see. Daniel Zellhuber here. I think he takes that fight very easily, like we said, against Trey Ogden. Luma Lookboonme welcomes Denise Gomez to the UFC with a loss. So let's take Luma there. Aspen Ladd, I love. Versus the 41-year-old McCann. How can you not love the Philly boy, Joe Pyfer? He's going to bring the body bags to the UFC arena versus Alan Amadovsky there. And to be honest, Slav, I don't know about you. I think that's all I'm touching there.
I might go with I don't know. Yeah, I think you might be
wait.
right.
How could I forget Anthony Hernandez? He's only a minus 175, but he's one of my bigger favorites on the card. So let's see here. That's a 6-pick parlay. If you just want to throw $10 on it, let's see if I can. There we go. Just want to throw $10 on that. That's going to net you 176.12. Not bad there.
Yeah,
Not bad there. Hopefully
that.
we can win you guys some money there.
I think I'm gonna bet some money on that.
Yeah, right. Do a little parlay. Have a little extra fun.
Yeah.
Especially for the UFC fans who don't really know a lot about the fighters. Makes the fights a little bit more interesting. And as always here, we're going to end our show off with our final UFC draft of September. And I believe Slav is winning by 1 point, 10-9. I need a big week here in the final week here in September. Slav, you do have the first pick, though.
Okay.
Who you taking?
I think I gotta go Joe Pyfer knockout. That's how confident I am in him.
Dang it. Oh, I was so upset I knocked my mic over there.
Yeah.
All right, taking Pyfer by knockout, you said?
Yes, sir.
All righty, who do I like here? You know what? Give me Hernandez. Let's go by decision there.
Okay. All right, next one. Probably gonna go with going with Aspen Ladd decision.
What was that?
Aspen Ladd,
Ladd.
by decision. Yeah.
Decision. I like it. All right, what am I liking here? What am I liking? Give me Daniel Zellhuber here. Say he takes this one by decision as well. I think we're gonna have a lot of decisions this card.
Mm-hmm.
All right, third and final pick for Slav.
This one's kind of tough, man. It's always the third pick, the last one.
I know.
Usually there's like two
Especially in this
obvious. Yeah,
This
two
card's really
obvious
tough.
ones. Yeah. Ooh, I'm gonna go with Boxer knockout.
KO. And let's see here. You know what? I'm going to risk it for the biscuit. I need a big win. I need an upset. We take Gravely by decision. 3 decisions for me. And that concludes the final draft of September. Will Slav stay in the lead, or can I swing in from behind? We will see come Saturday. And as always, we are streaming here at Fist First on DSM Media's YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. It would be much appreciated if you guys hit that like, follow, or subscribe button underneath, you guys. And catch us back here on Monday when we break down all this action that is taking place on Saturday. UFC Fight Night, Sandhagen versus Yadong. Hopefully it's a good one, guys. We'll catch you here on Monday. Thanks for watching again.